four-wheel music cue. Yes. Første craftsmanship-deltagere, vi skal have på scenen, er Graceful Garfish Cosplay. Anna fra Frozen. Anna's always really adored Princess Anna from the movie Frozen. It was refreshing to see a princess that was clumsy and awkward, and it makes her instantly fall in love with the character. The cosplay has 6 main pieces: the skirt, the corset, the undershirt, the wig, the boots, and the cape. Taking it from the top, the wig is a lace front that has been clipped and braided with an added white vest. The corset is made from black velvet and is fully lined, bound, and embellished with hand embroidery. The undershirt is made with confident mind from stretched cotton with a couple of cute lace details. The skirt is made with beautiful satin where all the floral details have been cut from iron-on vinyl and ironed onto the skirt, and added a couple of green rhinestones. This took a long time. The boots were a pair of black boots modified to fit the cute mountain climber aesthetic. The cape was probably the most ambitious part. It is made from a combination of wool and satin, with the details made from fleece, iron-on vinyl, and rhinestones. To get the right shape, Hannah made a mock-up to use as a pattern, and then cut the pattern into a million pieces to get the right shape. If Hannah had to pick a favorite part of the cosplay, it would definitely be the skirt. But she never ever wants to stand in front of an iron again. Thank you, Graceful Garfish. Next up, we have Titania. Cosplay as Tommy from Dream SMP. 5 months ago, they decided to crochet an entire cosplay, albeit a simple one. They found a pattern for the shirt that fit the overall design of the character's shirt, but had a harder time finding a pattern for the design in mind. Fairly simple, but would work just fine. The first step was tea-dyeing the yarn they had gotten into a too light color, as it was all the store had at the time. But then waiting for each skein to dry before rolling them up into balls. Trial and error, as they say. The first try ended up being too tight around the hips. At this point, they had gone through 3 balls of yarn and had to take it all apart again to make the waistband bigger. The design for the pants came for a pair of their own pants they had gotten from their mother a few years back. They were the perfect inspiration. The shirt was made to look like the character has tried his best to sew it up. They don't know if the stringer from where the character comes from is actually capable of sewing, but they thought the character didn't know, and therefore they tried to make it look a bit sloppy. The yarn for the shirt is a cotton and acrylic blend, while the pants is made from 99.999% cotton and 0.001% tea. The bandana is made from the same red yarn they used on the shirt. The cardigan was first meant to be red, as the character's signature color is red. But because of things that happened in the story of the character, they decided to make it blue in honor of Fred the sheep. The yarn of the cardigan is a cotton and wool blend and is soft and warm to wear. They're the most proudest of the pants have more than likely already forgotten how they were made. Thank you, Titania. Next up, we have Cassia Cosplay. Cosplay as Lloyd from World of Warcraft. This cosplay was Cassia Cosplay's first ever armor build. It's also the first cosplay she has made by herself from scratch.
The armor parts of the cosplay are made out of EVA foam and Worbla. All the small details on the shoulder plates, arm and leg armor as well as the breastplates are all sculpted in Worbla. The feathers on the shoulder plates are made from 2mm thick EVA foam and hand-drummed into a feather shape. Cassia has hand-painted every single feather herself on both sides to give it a lifelike effect. The feathers are also detachable from the shoulder plates for a safe travel to cons and easy storing. The skirt and all other fabrics of the parts of the cosplay are clothed by Cassia herself. This was probably one of the most time-consuming parts of the cosplay, but she's also happy she took the time to do it, so the part's gonna be the exact way and color she wanted it, and was also a very rewarding process. The sword and staff are both made from scratch materials Cassia had at home. She wanted to use up some of her materials, but also challenged herself to make use of what she had. The sword has foam cone and is covered in Worbla, and all the small details are also sculpted in Worbla. The staff is made of EVA foam and then drummed down to get a more tree-like texture. Thank you, Cassia.
Silage cosplay is dressed as Koyocon Sarah. Silage wanted to make a cosplay with more details and a Japanese style was some of the things that made Silage choose this character. Silage spent the last 6 months making this cosplay. All the patterns are made by herself, also dyeing off the fabric to making all the details of the fabric by hand and airbrush. Silage also styled the wig herself and attached the mask to it. It was difficult to make the mask stay in place, but also make sure that the wig won't fall off. She used clips on the wig to make it stay. The gem in the vision on the bow is made out of resin, made in a mold Silage made herself. It was fun to work with colors, patterns, and glitter to make the crystal pop. The metal details on the costume are 3D printed by Silage. It was a time-consuming project with way too much sanding, but it was worth it to get a smooth finish. The mask is the part Silage is most proud of. It took some attempts to get the right size, but also to make all the details pop with the paint. It was worth the time. The most difficult part is to learn to walk in the shoes. Jokes aside, the shoes are also made by Silage. They are made of some wood she has lying around. Thank you, Silage. Next up, we have Lucan Cosplay. His design is very powerful, and they knew they had to make a coat. The coat was the hottest part of this cosplay. She spent around half a year on it. The coat has a lot of words on it, and she wanted to hand embroider them all since she has never really embroidered before. This took quite a long time. When she was finally done with the embroidery, she had to paint all the wounds on the lining. It was a lot of work and many hours of thinking, oh God, what have I got myself into? But she's very happy with the end result. Molly's horn started from his forehead, and she wanted her to do the same. She created a structure made of Worbla, and she could have under her wig where 2 pieces went into the forehead. This is where she could attach her horn. To make the transition from the forehead to the horns more seamless, she used latex. She used the latex to glue the horns to the forehead. This costume took a while to finish, and she worked quite a few methods that she hadn't worked before, but this has just made the process even more interesting. And in the end, she was really happy with how it turned out. was Rebel out looking for some things for her next cosplay project when she literally fell over this fabric roll with color-changing jacquard. Her first thought was, make it blue, make it pink, make it blue, make it pink. And then it hit her. She needed to make a Sleeping Beauty cosplay. No doubt about it. So then the journey begins. Besides this beautiful fabric, she also needed to make the crown and the necklace and style the wig. The crown and necklace is made out of wobbler, and the wig did she buy from the Amazon, and then style it from scratch. The cosplay has cost blood, sweat, and tears, and too much money, but it's all the time worth. Thanks to TikTok and YouTube, she learned some techniques to make them look like Aurora's jewelry. But the best trick of all is how she got to give the best pockets. She is so much loved in this cosplay more than she ever thought she would. For the first time, she really felt like a true princess. This cosplay is really a walk once upon a dream. Thank you, Rebel Cosplay. Next up, we have the Stardust Creation. The top is made from faux leather with the gold metal ringlets. The pants and one glove sleeve are made from linen fabric with hand-painted gold and purple stripes. She chose this type of fabric because she thinks the leather and the linen really complements each other. But also paints a really good picture of who she is as a person and her background in growing up for. The entire costume has hand-painted shadow work to match the animation style of the series. The belt has a panel of spikes that was applied one by one. All buckles, hair, accessories, shoe details, etc. are all made from faux. Her gun is made by using a sewer pipe as a base, then used a pattern-fold curved pieces and glued them to the pipe and painted them. She also added a little Jinx signature to the gun. The wig is made of a base wig and has 4 webs added to create more volume and to make a natural middle parting in the back. She chose different shades of blue so it would look more natural. The makeup takes about 2 hours to do. There is harsh contour and lots of shadows to mimic the art style of the series. Bright pink contact lenses and lastly veins made with liquid latex added around the eye with a neon eyeliner on top to imitate the dark shimmer that Jinx is affected by. Thank you, Stardust Creation.
Next up, we have Luciani cosplaying as Kaya from Genshin Impact. All patterns and garments are constructed from scratch. All part pieces of the costume have been 3D modeled and printed by himself. The wig has been cut and styled to fit the character, and the light box has been dyed with the ombre effect and afterwards sewn in. The eye patch is made of leather that was wet and molded. The ombre on the labels, flaps, and the cape are dyed by hand. The details on the cape, flaps, and shoulder bands are made with a mixture of heat transfer, vinyl, and lysofix. The fur is constructed from alpaca yarn that has been brushed out and sewn on a velvet base. The undershirt has been constructed with sewn-in patterns and piping details. The corset has been detailed with appliques and has the lacing and bust hidden underneath the front and back panel. The pants were constructed with boning to hold the shape and stay on top of the corset with a custom pattern for the costume. The details around the knees are made of appliques. The earrings has been carved in brass and welded together before assembling with the swirl twist pendant. I'm so sorry. The vision is 3D printed. The symbol inside is resin printed and embedded with resin stone. The light inside is LED filament with the battery hidden inside the frame of the vision. The boots were constructed from scratch using traditional shoemaking techniques with inspiration drawn from riding boots as he is a cavalry captain. Thank you so much, Christian.
Merida from Gray. Cosplay turned out to be more empowering than it was supposed to. What started as one man turned into a second and then a third. Let's just say it was a long and stressful process. Underneath, TMS is wearing an underbody to get a more accurate silhouette of the character. The pattern is drafted by hand and consists of 3 layers: fashion, strength, and linen layer. For boning, she used a mix of plastic, metal, and spiral steel. The fabric woven and dress was hard to find, as the color changed a lot depending on what picture she looked at. TMS chose the color she thought would appeal the most to her and fitted the character the best. The fabric is velvet with a small bit of structure to it, which she found was just perfect for the cosplay. The ruffle part is made of cotton, and the cord in the neck opening is leather. The pattern for the dress is mostly self-drafted. TMS found a dress that looked similar to what she wanted and did some changes to make it fit her, and the character design better. The wig was made from a lace wig with extra webs sewn into it to make it fuller and thicker. One of the vests was hand-dyed to get a different shape for a better effect. After that, there was a lot of curling using different methods, teasing and hairspray to make it stay like this. Thank you to Yeli's cosplay.
Next up, we have Okami Cosplay BK, cosplaying as Jin Ling from Modao Sushi. Because she liked his way of being. At first, she didn't like him, but when you get to know the background, he's suddenly a completely different person. She has spent 3 months on hand embroidery, which is on the front piece. She has chosen to make it because she only tries new sewing techniques. The shoes are made completely from scratch, and the sword is made from EVA foam. To make the sword grip stronger, she has put resin over the grip. The sword by hanging is made of wobbler and embroidery thread. She has sewn the weft into the wig so that it was extra long in the front like she has. And she has received help and guidance in wig styling from her sister-in-law, who is a trained hairdresser. Thank you so much for coming, Cosplay.
It is a Hatsune Miku. This cosplay is from the video game series Vocaloid, from the song Cantarella Grace Edition. The character being portrayed as Hatsune Miku. The model wearing this cosplay initially bought a Cantarella cosplay that was in no way satisfactory, which led her friend and seamstress to instead craft the dress you are now looking at. The cosplay consists of a ball gown, a petticoat, a crinoline, 40 plus satin ribbon roses, shoes, a wig, and a mask. Crafting this cosplay started with the creation of a mock-up dress, which then served as a pattern for the dress. It was then sewn from the vinyl satin and lace, and the petticoat was twisted and altered by adding at least 6 meters of extra tulle, so that it would fit the character design. The crinoline under it was completely handmade. The wig was bought, styled, and altered a little, and white roses were added afterwards. The roses throughout the dress and wig are each made of 12 individual rose petals, adding up to at least 480 pieces folded and hot glued together. The shoes were thrifted and swept, and new shoes have been crafted from the base of it. The lamp was made with fur, and small magnets were glued inside to make it easy for the wearer to take it on and off. Thank you!
Next up, we have Panzer Mouse cosplay. Cosplay as Goblin Slayer. This is his first major cosplay he has ever done that has involved both the use of sewing, foam crafting, electronics, airbrushing, and leatherworking. All parts of the first made through the use of Pepakura Designer, a 3D program that enabled them to make custom 2D templates of already existing 3D models. He used this on all parts except the forearm and shins, which were modified from already existing templates. The armor parts were made of EVA high-density foam, which are then primed with several layers of plastic before being painted with an airbrush. He used a black gloss primer with silver aluminum for the base layers. The belt, straps, and pouches are all made from 2mm foams, wrapped, glued in fake leather, and then finished with a sewing machine. For the sword and shield, he used the same techniques as they use on the armor. The fur collar consists of several small pieces that were glued onto the neck piece, which was then airbrushed to give some more detail. The most difficult but also challenging part of the cosplay was the helmet with the red eye lit up effect. A miniature smoke machine is hidden inside the jacket with a tube and wire connected to an LED worn inside the helmet, allowing both light and smoke to pass through a custom-built housing that holds the LED in place. A remote is hidden inside the helmet, allowing him to turn on and off the effect at will. Thank you so much, Panzer Mouse.
Ironic superhero cosplay.